Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Mattel DC Multiverse Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice 6-inch Batman. Alright you guys, and here's a look at the packaging, and we are down to the very last figure in this first series of the DC Comics Multiverse line. Really like the packaging for the Multiverse figures. At the bottom you get a pretty cool image there of Batman. It says Batman vs. Superman. This is Batman and Collect and Connect Grapnel Blaster Replica. Side of the box says DC Comics Multiverse and gives you a look at the logo down at the bottom. On the opposite side we have a look at Batman, same portrait that we saw on the very front, and then a brief synopsis there about the movie. If you want to pause and read that, feel free to do so because it's pretty detailed. Look at the bottom of the box, and then the back has a little bit of information there about the Multiverse toy line. Collect and Connect the Grapnel Blaster. This Batman is number 2 in the series, so it means that he's going to come with part of the base for the Grapnel Blaster so that you can display it. A look at the other figures in the very first series of 4 figures, with 5 through 8 coming soon. I've already reviewed the other 3, so if you'd like to see the reviews on those, I will put links down in the description. Alright you guys, so the figure itself actually looks quite good. Initially, from what I had seen online, I was kind of afraid that it wasn't going to look all that great. The figure does look pretty good, so I am happy with the aesthetics here. As you can see, the costume itself is based off Batman vs. Superman, which I really like. I really like the costume that they designed for this film. It's very comic book-esque and, definitely a departure from what we have seen in the previous live-action Batman films. Now, unfortunately, Batman is a bit of a hunchback. As you can see, he doesn't stand up completely straight. I don't know why that is. I don't know if he does this in the movie. It would be kind of weird if he did look like that in the movie, but he's definitely hunched over and it just looks kind of painful. I don't know what's going on there. Cape is a nice black plastic. It's very rigid, and I think all in all it looks quite good. Interestingly, on this costume you don't really see the points at the bottom of the cape like you do in all the other films and pretty much all Batman media across the spectrum. There he is from the other side, and you can still see that he is hunchback Batman. No accessories to be found here, folks, just the pack-in so that you can build the grapnel gun. Give you a close-up there of the head, and as you can see, it does look pretty good. It doesn't look very menacing, though. He actually looks kind of friendly almost, but it does look good. You can see that the cowl sort of has like a leathery textured look to it, which is pretty interesting. The eyes are painted really well. Though when I picked out my Batman, this was the best one that I could find. I had to look through a lot of them to get a good one, and so if you see these in stores, be sure and look carefully. But the eyes are very nice, no doubt there. The skin tone is pretty nice. It looks a little bit washed out, but you can still see the lips. You can still see the creases, the laugh lines there above the facial area. And all in all, it does look quite good. Really short ears on this Batman. There's the hunchback again. And from all angles, I think they did a pretty good job with the figure. It's very kind of weird. I hadn't noticed that there's like stitching or something on the back of the neck. But yeah, that looks good. The costume itself, like I said, I'm a huge fan of this new costume for Batman. And I think in action figure form, it translates pretty well. There's a little bit of a sheen to the costume, especially like here in the gray areas, which looks pretty nice. There's a good amount of detail there. As well as in the arm area. It just looks like maybe this is a little bit of material that's like bunched up or something. And the bat emblem I think looks really, really good. It's very textured and just a really cool looking emblem. Very much like the Dark Knight Returns, of course, how it's really big and, goes over most of his chest area. The belt is pretty nicely done as well. It's got a bit of a wash to it to kind of bring out the metallic look of the gold paint. And the gloves are pretty nice. You can see that he's got his blades under the bottom of the gauntlets right there. And fortunately, and this really irks me, is that there is silver paint right there for that part of the joint there on his elbow. And I see why it is. This is all one piece, the shoulder and then that piece of the joint, but it just looks terrible. Surely they could have painted just that little bit there if they really wanted to, but they didn't. Beyond that, though, the gloves do look very, very nice. You'll notice that on all of his knuckles, he's got those little, I guess they're like brass knuckles or something, so that he can like punch you even harder if he wants to. And the legs, again, nice texturing. They look good. I like the metallic sort of quality to it. That's very faint, but it still, looks very nice. The boots look, quite good, very comic book-esque, very much like they do in the comics. And, the toes of the boots also have, like that bronze bit so that he can kick you really, really hard. And the back of the figure, it looks pretty good. There's a little bit less detail, I think, in the back. The belt still looks quite good, though. The boots look quite good. And again, this cape is very rigid, though, you can move it quite obviously. But unfortunately, he does not fit in the 6-inch scale Batmobile. So if you pick up the 6-inch scale Batmobile, keep in mind that this figure does not fit in it. You will need to get the basic line 6-inch Batman figure for Batman versus Superman, because that's the only one that's going to fit into there, because it does not have a hard cape like this one. In the way of articulation, Batman has a ball joint here at the head, and it doesn't really go up or down, but you can move it side to side. He's got ball joints at both of the shoulders, and they move out pretty well. They are a little bit stiff, but you can move them. He's got swivels at both of the biceps, bends at both of the elbows. You get your swivels here at the wrists. You get an ab crunch there at the waist. You get a swivel at the waist, hinging at both of the hips so that he can do a really nice split. Holy bat split, Batman. And you get swivels at both of the lower thighs. You get bends at the knees, and then you get bends at both of the ankles. So he is nicely articulated. But unfortunately, they didn't change up the articulation from the previous Batman films. I think all the other previous figures had the same articulation. So come on, Mattel, get with the year 2016. And of note, Batman does have one closed hand, which you could put a gun if he would have come with one, but he doesn't. And then the left one is just a closed fist, so you can't fit anything in there. So again, Batman doesn't come with any accessories, but he does come with this build a weapon piece, and this is a part of the display base that you would use for the grapnel gun. It's a bat. It looks okay. It's kind of hard to see it in perspective, since I do need to get all the parts and then build the grapnel gun as one piece. All right, you guys, now a quick comparison here with the armored Batman, which is in the same wave. And as you can see, he's a little bit taller. I wish I could let him go and he would stand, but that ain't going to happen. As you can see here, he is a bigger figure. They both look pretty cool, but I do like the aesthetics of the armored figure quite a bit better. And then give you guys a comparison here of the Mattel DC Multiverse 6-inch Batman vs. Superman Batman, along with the Mattel Movie Masters The Dark Knight Batman. And as you can see, the new one is taller. And even though that the DC Multiverse figures are billed as being 6-inch figures, these are actually about 6.5-inch scale. And that goes across the board for all the Multiverse figures. So now that we have reviewed all of the first wave of the Mattel DC Multiverse Batman vs. Superman figures, wanted to give you a look at the 3 characters here together. We have Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. And of course, there's also the armored Batman, which if he stood, I would throw him in there as well, but he doesn't stand. So all I'm going to show you actually standing up is going to be the 3 that do stand. They look nice together. Again, the figures, they're okay, but it is nice to have the Trinity in action figure form. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Mattel DC Multiverse Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice 6-inch scale Batman. Overall, you guys, the look of the figure is quite good. The head sculpt is quite nice. It looks a little bit too friendly for my tastes, but it's still nicely painted. Costume itself looks great. Lots of nice texturing to it. Coloration is very good. And he's pretty nicely articulated, though he's not really articulated up to modern standards, I would say. He's very much articulated like any other older 6-inch Mattel figure, which is kind of a bummer because it prevents him from achieving some really nice poses. He lacks rocker swivels. He lacks ball joints at both of the elbows. Things like that, would do a lot to make the figure a lot more posable. Same with a ball joint for his torso. The neck, like I said, he is very hunched over, which, really affects the way that he looks. It affects his posture, and it affects his ability to look up and down. There aren't any accessories present, which is a huge bummer. There should have been something, a batarang, anything, but sadly, there's nothing like that here. All in all, it's a good figure. It's just not a great figure, and if you're collecting this line of Batman vs. Superman figures, I think it's an okay figure to have, though it is worth noting that the Medicom Mafex figures will be out this fall, which are also going to be 6-inch scale. So I might be getting those instead because I haven't been blown away by any of the DC Batman vs. Superman figures by Mattel. So on a scale between 1 and 5 stars, I'm going to go ahead and give this one 3 stars. If you want a Batman vs. Superman Batman figure, this will definitely get you by, but it by no means is a great figure. Alright my friends, if you enjoyed this video, then I do encourage you to please like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments what you think about this Batman figure, whether or not you're thinking about picking it up. Be sure and follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.